Yo creo que leyendas no la tengo. ¿La pasaste? No.
Buenas tardes, señoras y señores. En 5 minutos comenzará el evento. Por favor, pasen a sus asientos. Ladies and gentlemen, the event will start in 5 minutes. Please go ahead and take your seats. Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. Shall we start, Jorge? Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please be silent. Good afternoon. My name is Sergio Esquiva, Director of Marketing and Communication at Grupo Tambre, and it's an honor for me to welcome you to this historic day, the official opening of Tambre Alicante. Throughout the event, we will hear the speeches of Sandra López, Provincial Secretary of the Department of Health, Mrs. Cristina Cutanda, Councillor of Health of the Alicante City Council, and of course our CEO, Inge Kormelink, who after his speech will share a toast with all of you. And then we'll go to the Darsena Terrace with an opening cocktail reception. To begin with, I have the honor to give the floor to Sandra López, Provincial Secretary of the Department of Health in the province of Alicante.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. Authorities, representatives of the Tambre Group, healthcare professional, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me today to represent the Regional Department of Health, the Valencian government, today at the opening of the Tambre's new Advanced Reproductive Medicine Center in Alicante. Grupo Tambre was born in 1978 in Madrid by Dr. Pedro Caballero as one of the first assisted reproductive centers in Spain. Since then, it has been a pioneer, the first sperm bank in Madrid, the first private immunology unit, and one of the leaders in the application of artificial intelligence to reproductive medicine. Over almost 5 decades, it has accompanied thousands of women and couples on the journey towards the dream of having a child, and today it is established as an international leader in the field. Tambre stands out not only for its scientific excellence, but also for its value. It's a group named after a woman, with 90% of women in staff, and many of them hold management positions. CEO Inge Kormelink, a mother thanks to assisted reproduction, has managed to convey a unique DNA. Medical excellence, innovation, multiculturalism, and above all, humanization. The most advanced medicine is combined here with warmth and support in the most delicate moments. This new center, located in Panorami's life and business, is already one of the most innovative and largest in Europe. Alicante has been chosen for its strategic location, its infrastructure, its national and international connections, and also for what defines us: the light, the warmth, and the quality of life that make this city an ideal place to become a center of attraction of healthcare and destination for health tourism. With this opening, Alicante gains international prestige, but also in economic development. Highly skilled jobs will be created. Patients from all over the world will be attracted. Remember that 70% of those who come to Tambre are international patients, and the healthcare innovation ecosystem in the Valencian community will be strengthened. I would like to highlight in particular the importance of public and private cooperation partnership. It's not a question of replacing, but adding. The public system guarantees equity and accessibility. The private sector, on the other hand, as we see today with Tambre, provides investment, innovation, and specialization. Together, we build a healthcare ecosystem that puts a region on the international map of science and health. And above all, let's not forget that behind every treatment, there are lives and family projects. Infertility affects 1 in 6 couples worldwide, and already 12% of births in Spain are now due to reproductive medicine. Every baby born, thanks to science, is a story of hope fulfilled. That's why I would like to congratulate the Tambre Group for its courage, innovation and commitment for Alicante, and thank them for sharing with us not only a healthcare project, but also a human project. From the regional government, we reaffirm our commitment to healthcare that combines equity, innovation, humanity. And we celebrate that today we take a further step in that direction together. Thank you very much indeed.
Gracias, señora López.
Thank you, Mrs. López. The same way, it is a pleasure for us to have the words from Cristina Cutanda, a health councillor at the town hall in Alicante. Thank you very much and good afternoon to everyone, all the representatives from the regional government, and all of you who wanted to accompany Tambre today in this magnificent opening. The truth is that as native from Alicante and a councillor of health, it's a pleasure and honor to participate today at the opening and inauguration of the Tambre Clinic and to be present at the opening of one of the most innovative and largest assisted reproductive centres in Europe. On behalf of Alicante City Council, we'd like to welcome you and thank Tambre for choosing our city as the location for its headquarters outside Madrid. With more than 40 years of experience, this clinic is internationally renowned and a pioneer in many fields of assisted reproduction. This new commitment to Alicante reinforces the city's position as a strategic location for development of business projects with an international outlook. Its privileged location on the Mediterranean, its infrastructure and connections, its climate and its cultural, gastronomic and leisure offer make Alicante a magnet not only for tourism, but also for a large number of companies from all sectors, particularly the healthcare sector. With this opening, the city also consolidates its position as an international benchmark in reproductive medicine and reaffirms its prestige as a health tourism destination and a leader in the provision of first-class specialized medical services. Alicante is a city that stands out for its wide and varied healthcare offer. With internationally recognized quality, many companies in the sector have chosen us as the location to carry out the work and business. From the City Council, we support and promote these private initiatives which complement the public healthcare system and generate employment and wealth for the city. In fact, the city model that we're designing for the next 50 years, what we call Alicante 4D, includes among its main objectives the promotion of the healthcare hub that already exists in the city of Alicante and which is an important driving force from the economy, attracting talent and promoting employment. A clear example of this is the Tambre Alicante Clinic, which opens its doors today. We wish you the very best of luck in this great adventure that begins today, and we're sure will be a great success. Welcome, and always count on Alicante City Council for whatever you need. Thank you.
Jorge. Apoyar. Sí. Más que nada lo pido por ella después. Yo lo mío lo tengo claro. Gracias. Gracias, Cristina. Bueno, ahora por último, tengo el honor de presentarles.
Once again, I have the honor to present and introduce the woman who leads this project with passion, vision, and humanity to all of you, Inge Kormelink, CEO of Grupo Tambre.
Muy buenas tardes a
Good afternoon to all of you. It's an honor to welcome you to the official opening of Tambre Alicante. Allow me to start Allow me to begin by greeting the authorities who accompany us today, Sandra López, Pomares, and Mrs. Cristina Cutanda, whom we just heard a moment ago. Thank you very much for your kind words to you both, to the councillors present here today, and the representatives of embassies, and of course, partners Philip, George, and Marie, friends, and of course, the family. And speaking about family, I cannot continue this speech without greeting my family. Have come expressly from Holland, and especially my aunt.
Lieve tante Emmy en ook mijn moeder die vanaf thuis meekomt. Ontzettend fijn dat jullie hier bij mij zijn.
Is giving a word in Dutch to the auntie. And of course to our founder, Pedro Caballero Peregrin. Thank you also to the godmother of Louise Brown, the world's first baby born thanks to assisted reproduction in 1978. Louise.
How science gives us hope to many.
And how that hope changed the world. You changed the world. Your birth was the first of many.
Because today 1 in 6 couples in the world need fertility treatment in order to achieve pregnancy. And speaking about beginnings, I would actually like to share with you all my own experience. Most of you already know me. I am Inge, Kormelink, CEO of Tambre. And although I'm not going to talk about me today, this clinic has a lot of me in it. Because when anyone really believes in something, you give it your all, and you also give it all. Today we officially open Tambre Alicante, a new space that reaffirms our conviction to helping to give life, changes lives, not only those of our patients, but also our own lives. This is the place where science, vocation, emotion, and above all, humanity intervene. Every opening is a new beginning, but it's also an extension of what we already are. A team that vibrates with every positive pregnancy test, that accompanies every step, and that gets involved with soul. A bit of water I need. Let me share something personal, which has a lot to do with Tambre. At the age of 14, an accident seriously affected my fertility, and since I was a child, I knew that becoming a mother would be more complicated, even impossible, I thought. As an adult, I turned to reproductive medicine at a time when the science had only just begun. And during that time, I often felt misunderstood, disoriented. Although today I can't talk about it from the distance, I'll never forget what it felt like. At that time, fertility was hardly talked about. There was a lot of taboo on it, about it, and that made the process more silent, with more feelings of guilt, more loneliness. But one day, the impossible became possible. I had my children. That experience changed me. It taught me that behind every medical history there's a woman, a couple, who needs more than science. She needs to be seen, listened to, accompanied. That's why Tambre, I don't lead from the distance, but from the empathy and the experience. From the conviction that medical excellence only makes sense when it combines with human warmth. Here at Tambre, we give it all. I'm highly proud to say that in the vast majority of cases, we achieve what our patients most desire, which is to fulfill the dream of having their own baby. The origin of Tambre dates back from 1978, when Dr. Pedro Caballero Peregrin, present today here with his family, founded a pioneering clinic at the same street of Tambre in Madrid, in El Viso. The clinic in reproductive medicine. He did it with vision, courage, and dedication from a very small project in his own house, with a great mission to help form families. That was actually the seed of the beginning of everything. Over the time, the sector evolved, more competition, more demands, patients with increasingly complex needs, and Tambre actually needed to adapt in order to grow again and to become a reference in the world of fertility. And it's actually in the summer of 2018 when I received a call that was going to change my life and my family's life completely. It was a unique opportunity to lead the transformation of a clinic with great history, but that needed a new direction. Thank Felipe and George for trusting me to drive this change. And thanks also to Marie for enthusiastically joining this new chapter. It was a very important decision in which my family helped me to take the step, even though I knew it would take up a lot of time of constantly moving to Madrid. Thanks, Charlotte, Lisa, and Thomas. You are the loves of my life. At that moment, I made a very clear vision to redefine the Tambre model in order to grow again and return to success. I did it with a very concrete vision based on my personal experience and more than a decade in management positions in the fertility sector. Then, with an excellent and committed team, we invested in the most advanced technology in fertility to be able to treat the most complex cases as implantation failure, repeated miscarriages, genetic diseases. During this time, we strengthened the structure and we built an international and preeminent human approach, thinking around patients who arrive with a pack full of suffering with an average of 4 failed treatments behind them. We actually know they were the last hope of fulfilling their dream of having the babies in many cases. At Tambre, we actually customize our treatments because each patient is totally different. Each case is unique, and each treatment is tailor-made for each person, actually, on top of it, in their own language. That's why we created 6 units in Spanish, English, French, Italian, German, and of course, Dutch. Not only to speak to them in their own language, but also to understand the culture. From the first contact, a call, an email, a message, our patients feel that there is something different here. From the reception, the doctors, the nurses, patient care, they perceive knowledge, rigor, experience, and above all, a deep passion for help. Every person at Tambre works with a shared conviction that medical excellence and human worth must always go hand in hand. We offer a medicine that combines medicine and science. This is Tambre. This is us. Madrid became the engine of our new rebirth. In only 4 years, we multiplied by 5 the number of patients. Over 70% of them are international, and we treated people from more than 100 different countries, and since then, more than 25,000 children have born, and all this in spite of the pandemic and in spite of the increasingly fierce national and international competition. We gave hope to all patients who had already lost it, and of course, also to the Tambre team, offering new opportunities for health, growth, and success once again. I need a bit of water. Talking about success, at Tambre we encourage and celebrate every milestone. We like to celebrate them together. In fact, we have been recognized by renowned awards such as the Excellence in Patient Care Award in 2023 and an award I'm personally very proud of, which is the Small and Medium Enterprise of the Year in Training and Job Creation in Madrid in 2024, awarded by the Chamber of Commerce and Banco Santander. The same year, Kitasato again recognized our excellent laboratory management. That was a Japanese company. These recognitions reaffirm the fact that we are a leading center, national and international benchmark, and that has been the basis for taking the next step, Alicante. I remember perfectly. After a long search, we signed the contract with Panorama's Life and Business Center in December 2022 with Maria and Santiago. In January 2023, we formed an expansion team, Laura, Susana, Marta, Raquel, and myself, in order to design the clinic, an extraordinary clinic. Warm, innovative, sustainable, human, thought out down to the last detail of our patients, and so that our team could work with enthusiasm and excellence. Alicante is not just a new headquarters, it is an evolution. A clinic built on the foundations of Madrid and with an eye on the future of fertility medicine. Alicante represents everything we want to offer, an open, connected and luminous city. And no wonder the Greeks already call it Acra Leuca, White Mountain, and the Romans Lucentu, the city of light. With its Mediterranean energy, it promotes the emotional well-being that has such an influence on fertility treatments, and besides, it's a strategic point for an international patients. Here in Alicante, we find the perfect place to continue growing with a closer, more advanced, and even more human kind of medicine. On such a special day, I would like to share parallelism that for me sums it all up. To open a clinic is like giving birth. It all starts with an illusion, then comes the wait, often longer than expected, because obstacles arise, doubts, but also an inner strength that does not give up. And finally, when it's born, everything has a reason to be. This place where we are today is the fruit of a great deal of effort, because before this building existed, the project was already pulsating. In a small office next door, we started to build Tambre Alicante long before a single wall was erected. Meetings, interviews, calls, shared ideas, everything was already underway. We completely transformed the space formerly occupied by old cinemas, a children's playground, and of course a Chinese restaurant. Places where some in Alicante families share moments, celebrations and memories, and us also, that form part of the memories of Alicante. I'm sure that many of you remember coming to Panoramas and feel that it's not just a place, but part of the collective memory of Alicante. The works were much more complex than we imagined, because with every wall we knocked down, a problem arose. And without giving up, we looked for solutions. And we turned the place into a bright, modern, serene place designed to take care of fertility and also the emotional experience of each patient. And of course, with the most advanced technology, artificial intelligence, state-of-the-art incubators, genetic diagnosis, and of course, an infallible security system in laboratories and the operating theatre. But the most important thing is not technology, it is the team. A teaching that comes from my father, who was a great entrepreneur in every decision I make. I remember this: Inge, the team is the most important thing in a company. It is the heart. Thanks to each and every one of you at the Tambre team for joining this fantastic project. I always say, and never get tired of repeating it, we're a family, the Tambre family. And with this valuable advice, together we create and form the best team ever dreamed of. And also always looking to my mother, a strong and generous woman who dedicated her life to the most disadvantaged children, an empowering woman determined to bring out the best in each one of them and to devote her efforts to noble and selfless causes. I would like to highlight today one very important aspect of Tambre. Over 90% of our team are women. And it's also women who occupy most of the management positions at Tambre. Thanks to everyone's effort and the teamwork, to the dedication of a team that never stopped believing having a very clear vision of what we want to build. Today we're here, thanks to that, standing proud and deeply excited. And this work, which is a vocation, it's for them, our patients, those of yesterday who taught us the value of perseverance, those of today who taught us for something so important, and those of tomorrow who may not yet know us, but who already are part of our dream, of this dream. Today, Tambre Alicante is born, but its vocation is for the future. We want to continue to be pioneers in science, technology, and patient care, because we're pioneers in continuing where others can no longer continue. Because when others say it's difficult and they give up, it is then when our work really begins. We already have a new project on the way that focuses not only on fertility, but also on treating women in every phase of their lives, such as perimenopause, hormonal health, and longevity. Also, with our arrival in Alicante, we're creating many high-level skilled jobs, highly qualified, and I think we're doing quite well because we already won a prestigious award in Madrid. And of course, we're going to repeat it here in Alicante, our terreta, our land. Thanks for being here with us today. Thank you for trusting Tambre. Thank you for believing, as we do, in life. Here's to that, to Tambre, to life. Let's toast to Tambre, to life.